animations are pretty cool, and believe it or not, if you know the correct workflow to create a rigged, animated car, you can make a car animation very quickly. In this video, I'll not only explain you a perfect workflow to create car animations, but I will also show you each step that you need to follow. This video is divided into 3 chapters. In the first chapter, we'll find a good car model and make it suitable for rigging. You can use your own car model or just grab one from Sketchfab. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We'll also add custom car paint and improve some materials. In the second chapter, we'll rig the car and optimize its settings for the best possible physics simulation. We'll use the RBC add-on, which has both free and paid versions, and I'll show you how to use both. In the third chapter, we'll add cool effects like tyre simulation, tiny vibrations, exhaust flame, smoke simulation, and tyre marks. I'll also share some important tips in the end that will really improve your car animations. All of the project files will be available on my Patreon, and you'll also find some free assets that will help you follow along with the video. So let's start with the first step, which is finding a car model. If you already have one, you can skip this part. For those who don't want to model a photorealistic car, just head to Sketchfab and search for the car you want. I especially like to use cars from these creators. Make sure to follow both of them on Sketchfab. For the sake of this tutorial, I'll show you this car model just to explain the main points you need to keep in mind when rigging cars. I'm just going to use the Sketchfab add-on to bring the car into Blender. Before we join the parts, let's add some custom car paint. I've already made some car paint node groups which are available on my Patreon for free. Just check the link in the description. This step is optional, but it's something I personally like to do. Just use the blend file as an asset library, and you'll notice there are a lot of things in there. For now, select the car body or the mesh where you want to apply the paint. It's the main body for me, so I'm going to open the material for that. Under the textures in the asset library, you'll find the car paint node group. Add it and use it, just like the principled BSDF. These settings are pretty self-explanatory, and there are multiple node groups you can use. For instance, there's also a carbon fiber node group that adds this cool carbon fiber material. Pretty cool, but again, completely optional. Now let's make the model ready for rigging. First, make sure your car model's scale and angle are correct. For the scale, you can use a character model to compare and check if the car size is accurate. You can also use the measure tool in Blender to check the dimensions. This is important because we don't want a toy-sized car, and scale plays a crucial role in physics simulation. Also, unparent and delete any extra empties we don't need. To do that, press A to select all, then Alt plus P, and choose Clear Parent and Keep Transformation. To delete the empties, filter out the mesh in the outliner, select the empties, and delete them. Now that your mesh is clean, make sure the car is facing the front. You can check that by switching to the front view. Looks great. Once it's facing forward, you'll need to split the car into 5 parts, the main body and the 4 tyres. This is necessary for rigging. Before combining the parts, make sure there are no modifiers left on the car. Also, keep in mind any parts that will be animated separately. I'll explain that in a minute. Let's first apply all the modifiers, but before that, save your blend file, just in case Blender crashes. To apply all modifiers, select everything, press F3 and search for Visual Mesh to Geometry, and hit Enter. Now select the parts you want for the body and move them into a new collection. Enable X-ray mode and use B to box select the body parts. Don't worry about being super precise, just make sure the tyres aren't selected. Then press M and move them into a new collection. Once that's done, uncheck the collection to hide it. This makes everything easier and reduces mistakes. Do the same to separate all 5 parts into their own collections. Now, separate any parts that you want to animate later, like the steering wheel, gear shifter, or brakes. Just select these parts and move them into a new collection too, and uncheck it to hide for now. To join the parts, first hide all collections except the one you're working on. Start with the main body. Select one object, press A to select all, and Ctrl plus J to join them, and rename the object. Repeat this process for each collection, and by the end, you'll have 5 main parts plus some extra objects we separated earlier. Hide the extras for now. Let's now set the correct origin points for each of the 5 main parts. Just open the Object menu and choose Set Origin to Geometry. If you don't want to include extra objects, you're done here. But if you are using extras like the gear shifter or steering wheel, here's what to do. Make sure their origin points are correct. Once you've set that, simply drag the object into the car body while holding Shift. You can also use Ctrl+P to parent it, but this way is easier. Now the brakes are a bit tricky. RBC includes brake support in the paid version, but I'll show you how to do it in the free version too. Even if you have the premium version, this step is important. Select a tyre, press Shift+S and choose Cursor to Selected. Then select the brake, go into Object and choose Set Origin to 3D Cursor. Do this for each tyre. When you're done, parent the brakes to the main body. Now move everything into a new collection and name it after your car. And that's it. You can still access all the materials in the Materials tab. Quick tip, you can separate objects even after joining them. Just go into Edit mode, select one face of the mesh you want to separate. It'll auto-select the whole material, then press P and choose Selection. Done. If you do separate anything, don't forget to parent it back to the main body. Now there are tons of add-ons for car rigging, but my favourite is RBC because it's free and has a lot of cool features, like controlling the car with your keyboard. You can get it with the link in the description. For now, I'm going to do the basics in the free version and move towards more advanced settings in the latest 1.4.6 release. Installing is pretty straightforward. Just drag the zip file and install it. You will find the RBC panel in the sidebar. It would be great if you make separate files for the car and the RBC testing. You can just save incrementally to get started. If you open the sidebar, you will find the Add Rig button. Click that. Select the body and then press this button. Do the same for the tyres and make sure you do it correctly. Once done, there will be a new wireframe mesh around the tyres. Make sure those are correct. If you find any issue like the tyre wireframe being big or stretched, I would recommend going into Edit mode, selecting the tyre with Box Select, then pressing Ctrl+I to invert the selection, and then delete those faces. This won't happen unless you skip the first chapter of my video. Once that's done, click Generate Rig, and you will have the rig ready with physics. Play the animation, and you can now control your car with these sliders. This does the basic work, and you can bake the cache, and then you can start building your scene around it. Pretty simple and easy to use. Before we move to the advanced settings in the paid version, let me just show you how to attach the brakes. Make sure to apply rotation. And my mistake, you have to unparent the brakes for the free version. You can unparent it with Alt+P and select Keep Transformation. Copy my constraint settings and you will be good to go. It's pretty complex, but it's worth it. You won't need to do that in the paid version. It already has this feature. Installing the paid version is also the same. This one has a lot of car presets by default, although we won't use those for now. Rigging is also the same. Just select each part and press the icons. For the brake part, if you click on brakes, it will ask you to select the brakes for each tyre. Once that's done, just generate the rig and you are good to go. If you are lucky enough, you won't face this problem. But if you do, just select each brake and click Set Inverse. This version has a lot of features and it also has a lot of bugs because it's the beta version for 1.4. If you are afraid of bugs and don't want cool features, just use version 1.3.2. You won't face any bugs in the latest beta release because I have spent my last 2 weeks testing the add-on and I have found a perfect workflow. Let me explain the settings. So first is the tyre settings. Tyre angle controls how much the tyre can rotate, and the camber angle gives this cool rotation to the tyres. Tyre friction, by name, is the friction of tyres. Next is suspension. The limit value can be 1 or 0, it's like on and off. The spring value controls the bounce factor. Higher value will give small bounces and lower will give big bounces. It's great for SUVs or cars with big tyres. Set this value so the tyres don't intersect with the body. The damping option controls how much the body will bounce or wiggle until it stops. Higher value will be equal to small wiggles. This tab defines which wheels will move with the engine. You can see many types. I just keep it at two-wheel drive, which is also set by default. You can set the weight of your car. Weight position defines where the main mass will be. For example, if I press G and move it to the back, the car will have more mass in the back. Super useful if you know where the car engine is. The engine type has two options. I like the basic one because I am just a common man. If you would love to try the advanced mode, try the sports engine preset. In the end, we have the physics tab. I will come to that in a minute. Let's control the car. You have 4 ways to do that. The manual one allows you to use the sliders, in which you have to use your mouse to change the values. The controller one. I don't have one, unfortunately. The keyboard, just press this button and control it like you normally play a game. The guide path, which I mostly use because it is very easy and has drift options, allow you to make your vehicle follow a curve, and I will be using it for the video. So let's make the car follow a curve. Add a Bezier curve. The curve starts from this point and ends here. Go into edit mode and select the end point. Move it with G where you want the car to go. Make sure you lock the Z axis by pressing Shift plus Z while moving. Enable guide path and select the curve. Don't make the mistake of selecting the guide object. We want the car to follow the curve. Uncheck auto drive, reverse and brake. We will control those manually because we want accurate results. Set the max speed you want for the car. I'm going to set 120 and I'm going to decrease the torque. The car gets a shock when it starts at high speed. We don't want that. You will notice that the car will start slow and slip when it gets to high speed. We can fix that with traction control. Enable that. Uncheck auto traction. Disable linear traction by making its strength 0. We will use that later. Now the car will move normally without slipping. Its speed is slow, but we will improve it in a minute. Let's add a turn. I am just going to extrude this point, and I will increase the scale of the handles for the middle point to make the curve smoother. This is necessary, or the car will just go out of the curve. If you play now, the car will turn easily. Increase the resolution a bit for more smoother turns. Let's do the drifting. The way I found it works best is by manually enabling it. You just have to play with the factor value. Make it 1 when the car approaches near the turn. Works like a charm. A quick tip, if you want max speed directly, increase the linear traction. A value of 0.15 is good if you want something minimum. It's all about practice. I would recommend pinning the drift and traction menu and then controlling both in the controls tab. Also make sure to decrease the linear traction when it comes near to the turn. Don't enter the value 0 directly. Try to reduce it with your mouse. Do some tries, and when you are ready, click the Save Current Cache and start animating. Note that it will take some practice and you will face some issues because simulating real-world physics is not easy. When you are done with the cache, you can also bake it as keyframes, but it isn't working in the latest release. But I have talked with the creator of the add-on, and it will be fixed in 1.4.7. In fact, I have the 1.4.7, but because it is still a work in progress, and it's also not available to the public, I had to make the video on the latest available release, which is 1.4.6. Once you are done with baking the cache, just append your scene in this file. Don't move it to another file. Just save incrementally and append it in your scene. Let's animate small things like the steering wheel. I don't know, but I've noticed that when a car engine is running, it gets a lot of vibration in the parts like the steering or the gear shifter. Now I don't know if it's with old cars or something, but it's pretty cool to do in Blender. I've already made it in the starter file. Add the engine vibrator, select your object, and then select the constraint object while pressing Shift. Go into Constraints, open this menu, and select Copy to Selected. Delete the constraint object if you're done with it, but don't delete the empty. You can do this for any object you want. I did the same for the gear shifter as well. Now tyre marks are pretty easy, as RBC has a feature for that. Just go into the FX tab and enable the tyre marks. Increase the resolution a bit. Go into the modifier tab and select the bake directory. Then go into this tab and bake the simulation. Once it's done, tyre marks will be ready. Unfortunately, I don't know how to control where the tyre marks should start or end, but I can manipulate its material to do that for me. Add an empty and move it from where you want the marks to start. Go into the tyre marks material and add a gradient node, then a texture coordinate and mapping node. Set the coordinates to object and select the empty. Control plus Shift plus click the gradient node to check its preview. White means the tyre marks will be visible and black means there will be none. Rotate the empty until it matches what you want. You can also try other gradient masks like spherical. Just get white where you want the tyre marks to appear. Once done, connect it into the opacity tab and you're good to go. Generally, tyre marks should be less visible, so just add a math node and set it to multiply. If you decrease the number to 0, the opacity will be 0 and there will be no tyre marks. Just go with something like 0.5. It's all about testing different values. RBC also comes with a mind-blowing feature that allows you to add tyre physics, in which you can actually change the pressure of the tyres. Go into the tyre tab and you'll find tyre physics. Enable that and adjust the rim size. You can control the pressure from here and increase the resolution from here. Although I won't recommend using this if your tyres have bad topology. This is also a little heavy, but it works like a charm. Next up is smoke simulation. I've already made the domain and the emitters. Just drag the emitter from the starter file. Move it under the tyre, and when done, duplicate it for the other tyre. Parent it with the main body, and you're done with the emitters. You have to tweak a simple setting. First, check in which direction your car will be moving. You can check that from here. Change that value to 4, and if it's negative, change it to -4. Add the domain where you want the smoke to start and end. Select the bake directory and bake the first option. And then the second. Your smoke won't appear if the second one isn't baked, so don't get confused. Now, I tried a lot to recreate the exhaust flame, but I failed badly. But one of my good friends, Havard, made one in Houdini for you guys. He's a VFX artist and also the owner of the best lens simulation add-on. You should check it out. Link is in the description. You'll find it in the starter file as well. Just put it behind the exhaust pipe and parent it to the body. It works like an image sequence, so you can set the start frame from where you want it to start. You can also control the emission strength to give it a more dynamic look. The starter file also has 2 headlights, so you can use those and parent them to the body. Final tips before ending the video. Try to use motion blur and add camera shakes for high-speed shots. Make sure you bake everything, and don't append the RBC rigged car into another scene. Just bring the scene to the RBC file by appending it. I made the intro animation in a day, so it's a little work in progress, but it's still good. And if you want the project files, check out my Patreon. I hope this video will help you a lot, and if you want to support the channel, check out the Cinematic Compositor, which adds those final cinematic touches to your renders.